Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Today's battle is on Live Oaks. We've got DG Toasted, former clanmate. He's now in NWO Clan. That's the New World Order, great Filipino clan. They did a lot of work with us with Fiddy back in the day. And we've got a few ex-clanmates in that clan, so all good. Alright, he's in the I-7. No introduction to that, everyone knows it. It's a tier 10, tier 11 battle. So he's bottom tier, but as you've seen, the tier 11 tanks are fairly similar in terms of gun properties of penetration and alpha. Armour may make a difference, but we'll see how things go. Alright, so he's coming down this flank. This is with a BZ-75. You probably heard a bit of the rocket noise in the background there. And so far they've spotted an STB-1, but what else is lying in wait there? So typical Live Oaks battle. Teams split between going to the city and down the railway line, but not much in the middle there. The Guerrilla 15 went to the hill in the middle, but decided, okay, that's not going to suit. So they're keeping rolling down this southern side. What surprises are they going to get? STB-1 as enemy side retreated after getting a shot. And Toasted is just coming up here, or the STB-1 again. No, nice shot on the move with a I-7 gun. Dan, he's just outrageous and typical Soviet heavy tank gun. Normally it's best if you sit still and aim properly. Blind shot there, not sure if that went in, but we'll check that at the end. Liquid 120 making a bit of a crazy move there. Already taken a couple of shots, and Toasty is just going to line him up again if he gets the chance, but he's just being a bit cautious here. He might get a shot in here. Yes, he does. And just backs up while he's reloading with some TDs at the back. He doesn't really want to be picked off by them. Manticore sort of blocking the Manticore, but Manticore needs to use his mobility and get around him. Alright, level 120 goes down. Toasted is lit. Not as he comes around the corner. Is this going to be a problem? Oh, there's STB-1, so he's going to get lit again. Yes, he is. And there's usually some TDs up in the right side there. Oh yeah, there we've got an ASX X40T, which he puts a nice shot in, but where are the TDs? Oh, there we go. Guerrilla 15 puts a big shot into Toasted. And can he get some revenge there? Oh yes. Gets the outline and puts a nice shot in. So starting to accumulate damage, and he blocks the next incoming round. So he's just got the top of the Guerrilla 15 there, gets another shot in. So that brings up his 2k. And punishes him again. So yeah, he's basically farming this Guerrilla 15, but he goes down. Might not be the only one there, so he heads off in that direction. This is sort of a wise move. He's just showing the front of his tank, and there's another Guerrilla 15's been spotted by the Manticore. But the Manticore is just driving right through the middle there. That's going to be a bit risky. Certainly lighting things up, but at what cost? There's no one there to shoot those targets if he comes across them. And yes, he takes a hit. And some other big hits, that Manticore. Oh, at least he spotted that Guerrilla 15 again. Toasted puts a shot in, he will get another one in, and the Manticore dies. So, yeah, through his game away, I'd say. But at least Toasted is getting a few shots into this Guerrilla 15. So here he's coming along the side of the flat area here. That gives him the opportunity to move around a bit without poking up and getting spotted, and now he's got Leopard 1 spotted. And a nice long range shot there, so getting some good results here from the gun here. This is wouldn't say it's unusual for the I-7, but it certainly is in my experience. So can he get another shot in? Yes, he does. In fact, gets the kill. So he gets his first kill, but his team's down a bit. They're 3 tanks down, and they're less than half the hit points of the enemy team. In fact, they've just lost another tank there. So his team are not doing well. What can Toasted do about that? Well, they've lost the city, so I'm not sure this is great. Hopefully they'll clean up that leopard 1 in the south and they can return up and try and capture the tanks going up the north and pick them off as they're going on to the base. Now, some of them might turn around, of course, and cause problems, so we'll have to see what happens there. But Toasted has got at least most of his hit points to play with. Right, so they deal with the leopard 1. Now there's just the Guerrilla 15 is in the middle, and he calls on the Striv to back him up. The Striv has crossed the other side on the railway line, so that's fine. Now, in terms of view range, you should be able to pick up this E5. There you go, tanks are coming back from the city. They know that they lost tanks down near their cap, so they're coming back to defend, and it's a reasonably well full health, but Toasted notices the I-7 crossing back the other way, and he gets a chance to put a shot in. Unfortunately, that gave you the typical Soviet heavy tank result and missed completely. Didn't even bounce, so that's a bit unfortunate, but what can he do about this E5 that's coming down? Now, he's managed to make it into the ditch, so Toasted decides to go after that I-7 who's been spotted again, this probably by the Striv. And he's got to save the Striv too. If he needs some help from the Striv, he's got to basically defend him as well. This I-7 is not responding to Toasted putting shots in. Another blind shot there. Oh, and he's getting pushed on by the E5. So now he's been spotted. Is that I-7 going to do anything? The Striv's just put a hit into him. He's crossed over to the other side of the railway line, but luckily the Striv takes him out with his DPM, so good result there. And here comes E5. Toasted goes for the weak spot, the cupola, and just trying to minimise the exposure of his tank. He's in a pretty dangerous situation here. Now the enemy are capping his base, so that's a bit of a problem. He's stuck here, he's got to defeat this E5. Bouncing a few rounds here, and again, you can see the E5 holding the gun up there to protect his cupola, so a smart move there, so the player knows his game. So Toasted decides to go after another target of opportunity, being the BZ-75, who the Striv is clearly spotting for him. So he's brought up over 6k damage, but they're about to get capped out. 6 seconds to go there. 4, 3, 2, no, they've stepped off the cap, so unless that's a reset by the Striv, which it could well be. So that is good in one sense, but Toasted has got to deal with this E5. Oh, he should get a nice side shot in, which he does, but now he's starting to take some damage. So he's down to 880 hit points, so he's got to keep managing his hit points against that E5. And here comes E5 with his gun out, and he's going to go for him again, which he does, and in fact the Striv finishes him off. So that was a close thing. Now here comes the Guerrilla 15. He's only got APCR rounds loaded, so he doesn't have any HE rounds that he can use on these TDs. He decides to focus on the FV205B, and not unreasonably, he could do a lot of damage to him with one shot. Guerrilla 15 obviously could do a high roll and get rid of him, but that's unlikely. It would be certainly better if he had some HE rounds to at least go after the Guerrilla 15. Now, looks like he's getting support from the ASXX, and the ASXX finishes off the Death Star, so now he's got the Guerrilla 15, and there's still Tashin Rudder and the BZ-75 who are now double capping the base. So here he goes after the Guerrilla 15, and these tanks are really holding him up, or the TDs I should say, so he's got to deal with that threat, and then he can go and try and attack the base and defend. So they're going to be kept out in about 10 seconds. The Striv is coming up again to try and reset. Can he do that? 5 seconds. Yes, he's reset it back to 30 seconds. Toasted's got to come up and find this Gorilla 15. Where's he gone? And he's got to take some risk now to try and come back and support the Striv. And the ASXX has also gone in there. Oh, there's the Gorilla 15. He's pointing a different way. Should get the killing shot here, which he does. So now we're back to 17 seconds. No, it's got another reset. So the team are defending grimly. Still down in hit points. And can they survive? Oh, the Striv's only on 54 hit points. That's not a lot. But these last three tanks from the on Toasted's team are all doing their best. He's got a shot here on the BZ-75. Unfortunately, that one misses. That one would have been important to get. Now we've got the Taschen Rider, and Toasted is down to 4 shots, so he's going to do it a maximum of about 2,000 hit points of damage. Not a lot he can do. He can reset the cap, but he can't get the kill. He can't really deal with these tanks here, so he's got to line up this Taschen Rider, which he does. Gets a nice high roll there. He's closing in on 10k. He's got 9k, but he's only got 3 shots left. He's going to go for the low front plate if he can. Lines him up, and it bounces. That's unfortunate. The Taschen Rider only hits him with HE, but it's enough to hold him up a little bit. And he's down to his last 2 shells. ASXX has gone down, and now it's just the Striv who is on minimal hit points, and he's running. Three and a half minutes to go. And the Striv saying track him, because he's trying to get into position and get him from another angle, I guess. So, but they're going to run out of time. Well, I'm certainly run out of. Oh, that's the HE shots from the Taschen Rider, just hitting the dirt there. It's going to go for the lower front plate, and it doesn't do anything except track him. But at least it resets, but it's not going to do a whole lot. He's really only got 1 shot left. Once his ammunition runs out, the Striv is there with 51 hit points, and if he gets into a position to fire, and he's just looking for the symbol there, but no, he's not getting a penetration symbol. The only thing he can go for is that very narrow low front plate, same sort of layout as the mouse. And here he goes, and the Taschen Rider is angling properly, and this is where the gun is playing. And he does some damage, but it's just a low roll. That's his last shell. And he's going to get wiped out by the Taschen Rider or the BZ who comes around. And in fact, the Taschen Rider gets him. So that's the end of Toasted's game. Don't think the Striv can do a whole lot. And here we see the dog tags and the post-mortem view, just showing exactly where that hit, which I don't have enabled, but looks like it was for the replay. So that's a bit unfortunate, and let's see if the Striv can do anything. Well, something's back on cap. And the Striv just trying to get close enough, but will not hold you in suspense. That's basically the end of the game as we know it. Yeah, the Striv puts in a shot, gets the reset, but they're going to go after him and he's not going to survive. Alright, so we'll go to the end result and let's have a look at the details. Well, a good game in anyone's language, but unfortunately not the result that Toasted want. 10k game, that's always been a target for most players at tier 10, and he's certainly achieved that. Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, Confederate, Defender, and the High Caliber Award, not surprisingly. Alright, let's have a look at the team score. So, finished well on top in terms of damage. Some standout damage results there with the Striv picking up 4.2k and the Leopard 120 on their team doing almost identical result there, slightly higher, 4.23. But 880 base experience in that, and of course with Courageous Resistance Award. That's given him the Ace Tanker level. On the enemy side, the Tashin Rata doing the heavy lifting there, 6.7, just under 6.8 cave damage and 6 kills, and definitely clearing an Ace Tanker there with that result. So well played to that player. And let's just see who the real player is. They are anonymised, so we'll just bring this up and see who that was. All right, reasonably average player. Player rating 4.6k and just over 3,200 battles played. So yeah, decent player, but not necessarily the highest player in the game at the moment. So definitely working that tank pretty well. But supported there by the Guerrilla 15 doing 6.3k. So those two tanks combined doing the really lot of damage to Toasted's team. All right, let's have a look at the cost of running. So luckily running a premium account, that's certainly helping reduce the losses, but losses he certainly got. Of course, running an all premium ammunition stack is a sign that you're not going to make money. So that was the big cost there, 144k on ammunition. Anyway, great game there from Toasted. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but nonetheless, certainly showing the i7 is still a valid tank at tier 10 in this game and capable of standing up against tier 11s, although certainly his gun let him down at the end against the Tashin Rata. In any case, hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, that's an option for you. We'll have more great content to follow. Thanks very much for watching.